John asks, how hot do you think Grisham's seat might be? Dabo's proven he'll correct the wrong. Seems like even his wide receiver expectations are very high this year. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to describe it as a hot seat because, but this is a very big year for Tyler Grisham. Let's just put it bluntly. Like, I do think Tyler Grisham has gotten unfair criticism in the past from the fan base, from myself. Like, so I'm not even like removing myself from that. Like,
Right.
I was critical of Tyler Grisham, but when you look at it, Clemson's best receivers over the past couple of years have been the guys he recruited. So he had the task of kind of having to sort of reset the wide receiver, reset the wide receiver room because you had a couple of classes that just did not pan out. And, that's a massive hole in your sort of natural recruiting plan. But I think he did a good job at identifying. I mean, obviously, this past cycle, landing Bryant Wesco and TJ Moore was a massive deal. Like that's partially to his credit, especially with TJ Moore. But you go back to the past couple of cycles. Antonio Williams ended up being your best receiver in 2022. Tyler Brown ended up being arguably your best receiver in 2023 when he was healthy. Like, he's finding the right guys. Like, the evaluation, I think, has improved. So like, and we can talk about Adam Randall and kind of his struggle, but that's not really. I don't think that's Tyler Grisham's fault. I mean, what do? The guy tears his ACL and's out his freshman year, and he was kind of up and down this past season. So what? What do we see from him in 2023, and whether, like, we won't really see the fruits of that until we actually get on the field. I said 2023, I meant 2024. So, like, this is a massive year for Tyler Grisham, but I don't think it's as dire as maybe some fans would think, because I do think that the progression there has been better than some of the other positions that obviously there wasn't a satisfactory job being done. Like, obviously the offensive line just flat out wasn't good enough last year at times, and then we've seen, even with defensive end, like we've seen kind of like, it hasn't been bad, but it's definitely been a significant step down over the years than what we had grown accustomed to. I think the biggest example is probably Miles Murphy. Like, he was a very good player for Clemson for 3 years, but he never. I don't think he ever really found that next gear. Now we'll see what he does in the league. He didn't have a very productive rookie season, and I didn't expect him to, because he wasn't really as ready as maybe you thought he would be when he signed with Clemson out of high school. Like, I thought when Clemson got him, he was like, I thought, oh man, this is going to be the next great, superstar stud defensive end. And he had a really strong freshman year and pretty good sophomore year. But then, like, it never got to that next level. And I think you kind of saw kind of the questions about, are we getting the most out of the guys in our defensive end room and all of that? And are we recruiting at the same level? Because that certainly took a step back as well. So, like, I don't think that's been as big of a problem with Grisham.
Right.
So, and I think obviously this past cycle helped him a ton. So it's hard to gauge how much how hot his seat is. But honestly, I think it would take, if the wide receivers aren't good this year, we're going to have some questions.
Yeah, if it looks like it did last year, there might be a change this offseason.
Yeah,
I'm not going to lie, because Dabo has made it very clear within the staff, both by his words that have been told to us by media members, and by his actions, that if you're not doing your job and he feels that the program is not going in the right direction in your particular position group, you're gone.
Yeah.
We've been told multiple reports by different media outlets that he said that in the past 2 seasons, and changes have been made every single season that he has said that. So the one thing that I think you mentioned, Jordan, that makes a lot of sense to me is I think recruiting is still allowing Tyler Grisham maybe a longer leash, right? Because he is pulling in the. I mean, this recruiting class, this past recruiting class alone, when you think of Brian West going to TJ Moore, right? When you're bringing in guys like that, your leash is going to be a little bit longer. Now, with that said, the production has to now translate to the field, right? You're bringing in the guys, the big time names. Now we got to see it on the field, right? And it can't just be one guy popping and then everybody looks like a bunch of average Joes out there, right? Like it was when Antonio Williams popped, right? And to some maybe a little bit lesser degree when Tyler Brown popped, right? So production's definitely got to improve on the field, but I think Tyler Grisham knows that, and he's not the only one that's going to be involved in that happening. We kind of hit on all of that, all of those pieces that will go into determining, how improved this offense is. But the wide receivers are definitely a big key, and I think Tyler Grisham knows that. He's been hired to do a job, and it's going to be expected at a certain level. And if he doesn't perform up to that level, then make no mistake, Dabo will move on. He will go find someone else to coach the wide receiver core. And I have zero.
It's the wide receivers, man. Like that's Dabo's baby. Like
that's his thing.
I just know like how crushing like these past few seasons have been for Dabo to watch from especially like 2021. Yeah, that was hell on earth with injuries and it just nobody really. I mean, your best receiver was a 50% Justin Ross that didn't have nearly the same type of go that he once had, and then 2022 and I know like this how much like how difficult it's probably been for him to watch how this room has kind of fallen off over the since 2020 and kind of the direction it was in.
Yeah, I know he's definitely not happy with it.
Yeah, so he's if they're not good this year, there's going to be some there's going to be some tough conversations for sure.